What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Found this article through a content creator, my favorite content creator on YouTube, Too Raw for Sports, aka Too Raw for TV. Go check him out. Greatest story in basketball, hilarious. Love his insight. But Ray Allen was recently asked in an interview, what is his all-time starting top five in the history of the National Basketball Association? And he said this.
Yeah. What would be your all-time starting five with the sixth man?
With the sixth man?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Magic, Larry, Shaq, Hakeem Olajuwon, and sixth man. I've never been asked sixth man. Sixth man.
Manu Ginobili?
No. He's a great sixth man, but it would be sixth man would be like I would say LeBron.
You heard it right there. What's more telling, or what's most interesting for me, not so much that, well, it is interesting that he would put LeBron James, he would leave LeBron James off the list, though I'm not surprised, and I'll tell you why later. But the fact that at the small forward position, Ray Allen agrees with me. Obviously, Ray Allen believes that Larry Bird is the greatest small forward of all time over LeBron James, as I have Larry Bird over LeBron James. So I always think it's interesting and cool to, not many people share that opinion with me, right? Most people have LeBron James one or two all time, which it seems like based on polls and the general public opinion. So when I find people is like, hey, respect Larry Legend. Larry Legend was that dude. Let's talk about this now. Let's really talk about Bird versus James. And, a prior player, somebody that even played with LeBron James, won a championship with LeBron James. Though, when you think about Ray Allen's tenure with LeBron James, Ray Allen is the big reason why LeBron James was able to win that second championship with the Miami Heat. We all know about the iconic shot in Game 6. Chris Bosh gets the rebound, tips the rebound, whatever, out to Ray, grabs the rebound, passes out to Ray Allen after LeBron James had just missed the three-point shot, the big three-point shot, and the ball gets over to Ray Allen after the rebound, and Ray Allen flushes it. Miami goes on to win the game and then wins in Game 7. Ray Allen probably looks at that like, yo, I am a big reason why you got that last championship. I was in the trenches with you. I saw everything. I saw your mannerisms. I saw how you played in certain moments, high leverage moments. I saw your demeanor inside the Heat culture. All this stuff. Ray Allen saw all this stuff, so I always find it interesting when people that play with LeBron James, because so many people that play with LeBron James they swallow this guy, man. They swallow him up. They swallow him up, man. A lot of people that play with him, that have played with him, especially the ones on the major networks now, they swallow him up. They really do. And ain't nothing wrong with being a fan and appreciating a player, but the level of absurdity and things these people say now is crazy. But there's also a group of players that have played with LeBron James that don't feel the same way. There are plenty of players out there that have had bad experiences with LeBron James or being on a LeBron James team and how their role was affected and how they were utilized and how they were scapegoated and getting called trash and being labeled one of these players that didn't provide LeBron James any help when they weren't utilized to their strengths and things like that. There's a lot of players that have that opinion that don't necessarily speak out about it publicly. They don't speak out about it publicly, or they send when asked about it, they are very, what's the word I want to use? Passive, or talk about it somewhat subliminally. Because they don't want the controversy, they don't want the drama, or they want to call the man out his name. But there are a handful of players that truly had experiences and believe that the grass was not greener playing on LeBron James' team. And I can make a whole video on that separately. Mainstream media would have you believe that any player coming over to play with LeBron James should be delighted, should feel honored, should pray to the gods, thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity. And that it's just going to be amazing. And that LeBron James is just going to make you so much better. It's always just going to lift you up individually as a player, yada, 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 yada. But if anybody that has really, truly, and can be honest about this, have watched LeBron James play his whole career, and you can be honest with yourself, you know that has not always been the case for all the players. It works well. If you got a big three, it works well for the second person. It doesn't work so well for the third person and the big three. And if you're the role players, it doesn't work well for the role players that can hold their own, can play make, can do a lot of different things that have redundant abilities that they share with LeBron James, because they're not going to be able to utilize. But it works well for the role players that all they can do is shoot. If like a Kyle Korver, all he needs to do is sit in a corner and shoot, hang out on the 3-point line and shoot. You know, just pick and roll, pick and pop, basic stuff. If that's all you can do, it's going to work out well for you. You're going to eat. But if you have any type of real talent and playmaking abilities and scoring abilities, if you ain't that second option, you ain't going to be utilized to your full potential. And the media would have you believe that everybody was just always happy and jovial on the LeBron James team, when there was a lot of disgruntled people and people unhappy with their roles and how they were underutilized. If you can be honest with yourself and you watched all these different variations of Cleveland Cavaliers teams, not so much on the Miami Heat. I don't remember there being so much discourse on the Miami Heat, but definitely some of these Lakers teams and these Cavaliers teams, there was definitely turmoil in that locker room. But a lot of players won't come out and say it publicly. Most won't. So I always find that interesting. But Ray Allen, I've heard him say in the past, there was, I don't know, somebody ran into Ray Allen and they asked him a question about LeBron James or something like that. And to their disbelief, he was like, I can't remember what was said, but he was basically like, LeBron James ain't the greatest player of all time. Does he do this? Does he do that? Does he do this? Does he do that? And people completely expected Ray Allen, being a player that played with him and won a championship with him, to gobble him up like a lot of other people do. But he didn't. He kept it a buck with how he felt. And I commend Ray Allen for that. But with that being said, I agree. I just so happen to agree with Ray Allen about the small forward position. I would definitely have Larry starting over LeBron James. And if I was going to have LeBron James in my top 6 with somebody coming off the bench, he would definitely be coming off the bench for Larry Legend. No question about it. There are so many people in the media, and whether they were directly associated with LeBron James or indirectly associated with LeBron James, either through Clutch Sports or agents or whatever the case may be, they are so scared of speaking how they really feel about LeBron James. And we know the networks with these LeBron James agendas that they have and these narratives, and they really don't speak out against them. That was one of the problems Paul Pierce had working with ESPN, is because he's like, he came out and said this. He's like, all we talk about is LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James. He expresses displeasure with this LeBron James agenda narrative. And I tip my hat to Paul Pierce for publicly saying that and expressing his displeasure with this LeBron James agenda. So Paul Pierce a real one, man. Paul Pierce a real one. I can honestly say that. PP, the truth is a real one. He is. But hell yeah. Shout out to Ray Allen for acknowledging Larry Bird's legacy, his skill set, how good Larry Bird really was, all time and at his position. Because not a lot of people do, man, especially the younger generation. Hell, even people in my even people, I'm 30, I'm my mid 30s. There's a lot of people as old as me. We didn't get to see Larry Bird. I didn't even talk about the necessarily just the 20-year-olds and the teenagers. Even people in their 30s really haven't seen Larry Bird play or acknowledge his greatness and what he brings to the table as a basketball player. But for me, from what I saw, from what I take into context, what he was able to accomplish. Like I said, y'all saw my top 10 list. I got Bird number 3 all time, ahead of Bron, number 1 at his position. So shout out to Ray Allen. Ain't got a problem with your list, bro. Ain't got a single problem with your list. You list 6 all-time greats there, and I just so happen to agree with your starting small forward. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Catch you on the next one. We out, baby.